Hey, what's going on? Happy New Year. Steve Peterson with Infinity Investments, standing in front of the Chabot Business Center, which is an 11,000 square foot office building that we just got closed right on December 31st, 2020. It was a great way to close out the year, but I'm really excited because of the challenges that we went through during this escrow in order to get this deal closed. Now, this is an office building in Oakland, California, in the Bay Area. We are at the most lockdown of lockdown during this pandemic. Okay. Unfortunately, we've got some essential businesses here in this building. We even had to change lenders mid-deal. And I, as a listing agent, work with the buyer's agent to smooth that out, get that done. Both parties are happy, and we got this thing done during one of the craziest times. Not to mention, we listed at 1999 and we sold it at $2,080,000. Okay, so if you're interested in how we close this deal and the challenges we went through, come on to my office and I'll break it down to you. All right, here, back at the office. Thanks for coming back in here with me. So I wanted to break down the closing of the Chabot Business Center, which is an 11,200 square foot office building in the Oakland Hills on about an acre lot. And so we just got this deal closed, $2,080,000. The listing price was $1,990,000. So this was pretty exciting. Now, we went into contract in August, and we just closed it last day of December. So, 4.5, almost 5 months, a little bit of a challenge, okay? And one of the biggest challenges that we dealt with in this deal was the financing, okay? The buyer started off with one lender. Lender was very, confident that they can get the deal done at a 65% loan to value. Property came back. And, right a couple weeks before we were supposed to close, they came back and said, we can't do the loan at 65% LTV. We're going to do it at 55% LTV. Oh, and by the way, we're going to require these things called COVID reserves that the borrower has to set aside for a period of time to whenever COVID resolves itself, right? So that was a big, big problem for us in the context of the deal, especially a couple weeks before closing, right? Now, in deals past, I've had several deals, have hiccups like this where when it's that close to close, the seller is expecting their money, they are expecting to get done, and it gets emotional. And fortunately for us, we were able to communicate to the sellers that we believe that the buyers were solid buyers, and they are solid buyers. We thought they were the right buyers for the property, and we figured that if we work with them by bringing in a new lender, it would probably work out better for us than if we put the property back on the market. We'd have to get a new buyer and lender and then go and do the same thing. So it required collaboration, all right? Now, when there's listing agent, buyer's agent, typically at some point when you hit this, there's gonna be a clash, right? And so something that I learned in CCIM course, CCIM negotiations course, is the interest-based model of negotiating. And everything, as you know, in the real estate business is negotiable and negotiated, okay? And so I was in a position of, we really want to get this deal closed. And the commercial real estate market in the Bay Area particularly has certainly been affected because we are super shut down. And so tenants are having a hard time to be able to do business. Luckily, we've got some tenants that are essential and are still doing business in the property. And even a church tenant that was in there that was virtually, doing business in the property. So that really helped us out. But the spirit of collaboration and the interest-based negotiation model is what helped us to kind of hold this deal together. Because I sat down and looked and I said, well, what are the interests of the parties that are involved in this deal? What are the interests of my client? Obviously, we want to get the property sold in the quickest and most efficient way possible. Now I'm looking and say, well, what are the interests of the buyers? What we realized is that this buyer was really motivated to buy this property and determined to buy this property. And so we looked at what are the interests of the both parties, what are the different scenarios of getting to what the buyer wants, what the seller wants, in the quickest and most efficient way possible. And what also really helped out is the buyer's agent was very, very, is a top player in the marketplace. So when lender number one, came short on him, he had a backup lender number two. that I was familiar with. So I was able to be comfortable with it, and I was able to explain my comfort level to my clients, the seller. I was able to get them on board, make them comfortable with it, and then we came up with an agreement in terms of time to close, and also timing on the financing contingency. What we did do at the time is ask the buyer to release the inspection contingency and move forward. And so we were able to get that done, extended the financing contingency out, extended the close of escrow out to where everybody was cool. It wasn't a fight, you know. Now, you might hit a situation, a circumstance within a deal where there might be a fight. And I've been there a million times, right? So this was a blessing really to get a couple of parties really together and, motivated really for the same thing. And we were able to neutralize the emotions throughout the transaction, okay? Very, very important. Now, that was kind of some of the logistics, within the context of the sale. When we were marketing the property, I wanted to talk about that because I think that this is an important point in the pandemic, especially in the Bay Area, where, look, we are locked down, okay? And so it becomes difficult sometimes to show occupied properties. It can be done. What I'm saying is it's difficult. Now, one of our tenants was a preschool. We absolutely could not enter the preschool during business hours at all. So showings and everything, we had to schedule them on the weekend, which is in commercial real estate. I know in residential, the weekend is where the magic happened. Not so much in commercial. In the commercial business, a lot of people, they Monday through Friday, work around the clock. When it comes to the weekends, they're not working. So that was a little bit of a challenge, but we made it work. Now, what helped me out a lot, because we knew that, look, we're not going to be able to show the preschool during the week. We were able to do some showings during the week of the other spaces. What we got was a drone video that went through the interior of every square inch of the property. So what we were able to do is to share with the marketplace, hey, I can't get you into this property right now, but here is a drone video shot of the entire space. And I think the drone shot is important versus like a standard camera or just a bunch of pictures, because it's just something about the drone shot, at least in my opinion, that gives you a realistic feel for the space. And so I think that helped out in terms of marketing the property, getting proper exposure, and working through some of the logistics of selling a commercial property in the pandemic in the Bay Area, where, man, you almost can't even go to the grocery store, during this lockdown. But, some of the things that we did to kind of help us out. And I wanted to share this with the marketplace because, look, man, for commercial real estate, it's different bag in residential, but for commercial real estate, we got some challenges in front of us, right? And I just am a believer of collaboration and content to the marketplace, that if we all can raise our game and we can get some of the best practices over here and some of the best practices over there and some experiences from here, that we all can kind of move forward. I truly believe that being a Realtist, member of NARAB, and being a CCIM, two great real estate organizations that I'm a part of, and both organizations really, really teach and preach collaboration. And so I just wanted to make sure I shared that with y'all, share that little bit of success that we had in our office and our clients had, but maybe some of these ideas can help you close a deal that you're working on or something that you might have coming up. And so I hope these ideas were helpful. Again, if this type of content it floats your boat, subscribe to the YouTube station, throw us a like, a comment on it. Let's stay engaged, man, in 2021. Let's stay in front of this thing. I don't think it's going to be peaches and cream, but I do think that for us that are out there, feet to the street, making this thing happen, that there is a way forward, and there's actually, getting through this storm, if you will, getting through this challenge will strengthen you to be an even better broker, investor, developer, practitioner, whatever role you play. Let's go in, give all our effort, learn from others, close some more business. I'm wishing you a very, very prosperous 2021. Thanks a lot. Peace out, y'all.